Hello, YouTube. Today I want to talk about socializing in what I believe to be a antisocial society that we have here in the United States. So, what do I mean that it's antisocial? Largely, what I mean is that many of the community activities that used to be in our past historically are no longer there. The the level of interaction between adults, between families, between friendship networks isn't as strong um, as it once was in the past. I believe that many people in the United States don't necessarily know or interact with their neighbors, for example. And these are the kind of trends I feel is happening throughout many of the industrialized and technologically advancing um, societies. And I'm going to explain why and hopefully talk a little bit about what we can do about it and if we should do anything about it. I think a large part of why we've become so antisocial as a society is largely, in part, how we teach our children, what we tell them, how we raise them. A lot of times kids grow up with each one having their own their own things, their own setup, their own for example, like each one might have their own box of cereal that they use. Each one has their own clothes they only use, their own toys that they only play with. And this sets up a a sense of independence, of kind of you use your own things, you're responsible for your own things, and there's a self-sufficiency in that. And that mentality of this is mine and this is not mine uh, inhibits to some degree just social interaction, and not just internally within a household, but externally with people you encounter. You always have a sense of these are our things, as opposed to an idea of sharing or um, interacting with one another in that way. And the self-sufficiency aspect of it negates the need to do so. If there literally was only one toy, then it would force the situation of interaction and developing of those bonds and learning about how to deal with people, how to balance out different wants, which is very useful when interacting with other people outside your family. So there's a mentality that we've kind of developed within our society that is very self-centric. Now, I don't think it stops there. Uh, I think it is more of a cycle that has been repeated and is not even so much highlighted in youth. I feel youth is probably the time when the most socialization occurs. In middle school, when you're interacting with all the kids going on field trips. In high school, when you're doing similar things, plus add a bunch of relationship drama. And in college, when you've probably blossomed to the fullest, to the heights of your social interaction. Uh, these are probably the greatest moments where we act as a community based society. When we have common problems placed before us that we as a group have to solve. And whether that's not necessarily just homework per se, but many tasks that we have put before us, and also many situations that are now apt to occur because of the grouping of us all in one place. So it's not like we all have one teacher. We each have our own individual teacher, and we all kind of learn our material and go back and forth, and then submit our homework, like perhaps some online courses do have. And because it's not that way, this is largely a reason why there is a lot of social interaction there. Beyond that point, though, probably the largest social interaction we have as in adulthood is actually in the workplace. Which, depending on your workplace, there's a fluctuating level of community. So, why is it then in adulthood that this is the way? Well, I do believe it started from the mentality as a child, but I believe in adulthood we still have, due to technological advancements of our society, we still have a lot of self-sufficiency and independence from other people. We don't need other people to satisfy uh, basic needs that we once did. For example, for our needs of entertainment, there are many video games that our youth play that are just solo. Because of the era of the computer and the era of electronical consoles, the need to go outside for entertainment, has went way down. And there are many tasks now which are very involved, interact with us, and even toy with our need to be a social beast, you could say, a social creature. Uh, they even touch upon those needs of ours. When you play a game and you have to talk and solve little problems, some social, some physical, some a wide range of different types of issues, and you have to talk to what's called sometimes an NPC or non-player character. Um, these things have offered us much entertainment where we don't need to go out. And there's not just games, and it's not just MMOs, which would be a branch, a subset of the games, where you play with other people, but it's online, so you're still by yourself, but you at least interact with real people. And that is a whole nother large issue where you can discuss the pros and cons of that, how it does promote community and meeting with other people, but it also lacks many of the benefits of direct communication and direct involvement. I can't reach out and touch that person. I can't go play basketball with that person. There's only a defined realm of tasks I can do with that person, and the level of connection can only go so deep, and the level of interaction is only so deep. I can't go to that person if I have trouble with my car. Even though I've perhaps made good friends with them. But those things have dampened our need to go out, those forms of entertainment. And you don't have to just be playing games to do that. There are many now solo tasks we do in our developed society. We watch movies, we read books, watch anime, watch, there are very, very many forms of entertainment that are now very much can be done on our own. And so our need to be entertained, to be stimulated, is satisfied on our own. In the past, shelter and food would be very much community commodities. The need to get together to accomplish these tasks was essential. To go out and farm together, to bring the food in together, to eat together, and to live and interact with one another because of those things, because of those necessities we shared. But nowadays, we go to work. It doesn't matter what you do. Then you take your resources, your income. You can buy your own food. Then after that, you go home. You can eat your own food. You can sleep there. You can go to the bathroom there. You can wake up, go back to work. And so all of our needs have become very much self sufficient. Shelter, food, transportation are very much stuff we can do on our own. In our society, it is very common in many parts of the country. There are some cities where it is not as common, but it is very common that our transportation is done on our own. So we drive to and from work. We each own our own car. We don't carpool as much or take public transportation. And because we're doing all these things on our own, it limits our social interaction opportunities. When you carpool, you have that chance to engage with others and connect with others. Or when you take public transportation, you have that, you're randomly assigned to, to be next to other people. And those opportunities exist to build community, to build bonds, to build friendships, and to build networking. But our society, we have undergone very much what I have called in the past and what I have heard called an atomization of our social networks.